Hello, prospective AP Stats students. This is Mr. Joe Delka, the teacher of AP Stats at Oak Lawn Community High School, and I'm here to talk to you about why I think you should consider taking AP Stats next year. So let's dive in, shall we? First of all, this adorable meme is saying it's an art, it's a science, and English, but not math. It's a math as well, but it is a mix of those other subjects as well. So let's find out why. First of all, if you've ever heard the phrase, maybe you haven't asked it because you're all loving math, I can tell, but if you've ever heard people say, when will I ever use this? The entire curriculum in AP Stats is dedicated to context or everyday real life situations. So never are you just randomly doing, factoring without some means to doing it, nor are you just graphing things without any more in-depth conversation about what you're graphing and why you're doing it. So if you're looking for a math that's more grounded in reality, this is the class for you. Now, careers. Now, you will probably be either a junior or senior taking this course next year, and I can tell you that these right here, data scientists, data analysts, actuaries, those are people that assess risk for companies or insurance companies. Any research or statisticians or mathematicians in general, these are some of the most sought after positions. They are careers that start you off at a high salary, and we'll talk more as well about not just high salary, but also just job fulfillment. You are doing something different every day. You're using real life information and using it to make predictions and conjectures about the future, whether it be in government, business, the medical field, sports science. There's all sorts of uses for statistics. Now, one thing, and this is just one source, but Business Insider is a website, and it says that the highest paying job out of college last year was data scientist. That's a mix of statistics, a little bit of programming, and mathematics, starting at $95,000. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of thousand. And if you're interested in double checking that link, you can check it out right there. And that's not the only study where I have seen that personally. I think data analytics and the need to be able to make actual data-driven decisions in every industry is only growing. And people who can do that and understand it and make sense of it are incredibly valuable and incredibly hard to find. Now, down here, if you're not sure what you're going to major in, but you want to do something business related, whether it be finance, advertising, econ, or any one of those, there's usually a statistics course that you have to take of some kind. Taking AP Stats could either exempt you or at least prepare you for it. And in general, for you people that are maybe good at math but not majoring in it, you usually still have to take one math class at college. Now, that class isn't always statistics, but it often is. I know in my own siblings' case and other people I know who majored in non-mathematical fields, they took basically Stat 101, which is what AP Stats would be. So you'd be prepared in that regard as well. So even if you're not sure what you're thinking of majoring in, taking this course can definitely prepare you for myriad possibilities. Now, what are some things you might learn? One thing we study is how to compare things that relatively on the surface might look the same. Like these three men here, LeBron, Steph, and Giannis. They're all very talented. They have good stats. But are there ways to maybe make new statistics or new ways of measuring their effectiveness to determine if they really were the most valuable player in the year that they won the MVP award? Also, you're all either taking or have taken the SAT or ACT or some test like that. What percent of people score a certain score or higher or lower? This is the kind of stuff that colleges look at when they're doing their admissions. They're trying to figure out what is the likelihood someone like you who scored a whatever on the SAT will do well at their college. That's why they have certain criteria in place, and you can sort of examine what is the likelihood of getting admitted to certain places based on perhaps your SAT or some other statistical metric. In addition, something else we look at is projecting into the future using trends or linear regression. And some companies want to know if their usership is going to increase at a certain rate, how many people they can expect. Maybe they're trying to sell they're going to do an initial public offering of their stock. They want to prove that they're going to have so many advertisers because so many users will be using their product. So this is just one example of something we studied or could study for any company. I just chose TikTok because I heard that's popular. Also, other things that you'll be looking at, again, this is a very quick summary of everything, but you do learn how to design surveys, studies, and experiments and account for biases when you do that. You'll learn about probability, as well as what's called hypothesis testing, which is a very powerful tool. A lot of, when they try to send a new medicine out to market and you're trying to prove if it was effective enough for the FDA to approve it, or any scientific testing has to pass certain criteria, and this is like a more refined way of looking at the scientific method. So the most important, though, these memes are so funny, and you'll know why they're funny if you take the class next year. So memes, actual real-life math, preparing you for any career after high school, what's not to like. So the final summary I wanted to add here. According to IBM, maybe you've heard of that company, 90% of all data that's ever been available for human use has been generated within the past 2 years. That's a phenomenal statistic. The world will only keep creating data as you become more interconnected, as there are Internet of Things. You may have heard that expression, as more of our devices are connected to the internet, in addition to our smartphones, smart speakers, our cars. There will always be more data generated, but a whole bunch of data is worthless unless there are people who know how to use it, and that's where you could come in. And if you take AP Stats, it gives you a great intro into what kind of career possibilities are out there if that interests you in some way. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Mr. Jodelka, in room 203. You can just visit me, or you can email me. I appreciate you watching this, and again, I hope you consider taking AP Stats next school year.